Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing non-profit, educational, or personal use. Tips the balance in favors of fair use. Now, for those that have been seeking, follow this rabbit on down the journey through the rabbit hole. You might fuck around and come out on the other side of Universe B.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Until the great mother is put on her throne, there will be no balance. It's all about this feminine energy. They trying to dismantle the feminine energy. And a lot of people is scared of it. Freedom of speech is a principal pillar of a free government. When the support is taken away, the constitution of a free society is dissolved and tyranny is erected on its ruins. From y'all boy Benjamin. This ain't what y'all ready for right here. Y'all worry about this one dripping. Y'all worry about this one dripping when they been planning this for the longest. And the snow didn't cause the grid to fall. Capitalism in a nutshell. The poor and working class go without power left to die. The high-rise and tech firms don't suffer at all. Now look at the left side and look at the right side of this picture. Look how on the left side is just total darkness. I told America this was coming. But this is no fear mongering type content, period. And you know the Simpsons always tell you what's coming. You know what I'm saying? You see this, they doomsday prediction? Yeah. Say hello to the end of the world. We are in the tribulation for you Bible worshipers. For the next 40 days, many Americans will reflect on their faith and participate in self-examination practices in preparation for Easter. While these days can prove challenging, NSA remains on mission in defense of the nation. Look, they told y'all this shit was coming. They told y'all to prepare. Now let me tell y'all, can't be listening to everything anymore. Ain't no rolling blackout. Ain't no rolling blackout. On my other channel, I said this shit was coming to America. Same shit been happening across seas. It's coming to America. Let me play that.
When rolling blackouts plunged hundreds of thousands of Californians into the dark last August, elected officials from Texas were quick to criticize the state for its dependence on green energy. Now the situation is reversed as a freak winter storm left 4 million Texans without power and sent Texas officials scrambling for answers. Some Republican politicians are doubling down on their criticism, saying Texas problems were caused by imitating California's rush to build an electricity system based on green energy. Many of its wind turbines froze during the storm, rendering them inoperable. But most experts say blaming green energy is flawed. They say the blackouts were caused by across-the-board failures, including natural gas pipelines freezing in the extreme weather. The crisis in Texas also reveals serious shortfalls in how Texas runs its grid.
This Mother
Texas,
Nature.
unlike California, doesn't force its
Mother
utilities
Nature
to line
called
up
the grids
excess
to go
power
out, and
in
they don't
advance
want to
to
put the
buffer
grid. They don't
state
want the grids
against
back on.
shortages or spikes in demand. Instead, Texas relies on free market forces to cover any shortfalls, a system that came up woefully short. But California can't be overly smug about the Lone Star State's problems. California's energy grid is likely...
The government ain't trying to do nothing about this shit. Like, they ain't gonna tell you how many people that's deceased because of this winter storm in Texas. Because they don't want you to be alarmed. They don't want you, I'm saying, I ain't sending no fear mongers and all that, because we've been telling people to prepare if the internet or the lights or if some event like this was per se to happen. But let's play this.
Most of Texas is still frozen solid right now. A full week of snow, ice, and bitter cold temperatures in a state unfamiliar and in many areas unprepared for the winter storm.
We've seen people struggle to stay warm, huddle together to simply try and survive the night.
Communities have spent days in the dark with no heat. And now, as power slowly comes back online, new problems are surfacing. Long lines at grocery stores that are quickly running out of food.
They don't have gas, so we're kind of stuck here.
Fuel for cars and generators running low, while water for many families isn't running at all.
Oh my God.
Or, in the worst of cases, with frozen and broken pipes, it's rushing out of control, flooding homes and businesses, then freezing inside. There's no estimate yet, but officials say this will surely be the most costly natural disaster in the history of the state, surpassing the $125 billion in damage from Hurricane Harvey. There is, though, a bit of good news here when you look
And these
toward the
motherfuckers ain't trying to
forecast.
sit out there. They ain't talking about no they ain't talking about no pandemic, buddy, or nothing.
It could be 70 degrees.
They ain't talking about no pandemic money or none of this shit. See, y'all think they engineered people showing videos of goddamn that the hold on. Let me let y'all hear Australia talk about Facebook, these big tech medias and shit. Let me play this. Cause they don't want you to know this.
Facebook was wrong.
Hold up. And it says Australia slams Facebook move to block news and new media bill. Cause Facebook don't want you to know what the fuck going on around the world.
Facebook was wrong. Facebook's actions were unnecessary. They were heavy-handed and they will damage its reputation here in Australia.
Australia slammed Facebook move to block news as the country moves to pass a new media bill.
This is outrageous and unacceptable. We expect that Facebook will fix these actions immediately and never repeat them again. This is an assault on a sovereign nation. It is an assault on people's freedom, and in particular, it is an utter abuse of big technologies, market power and control over technology. This will go around the world, but this stops. This is unacceptable. I will say this. Apparently their original mission was to bring the world closer together and to allow people to help share and express what matters to them. Well, that seems to have been replaced by profit over people. We say to Facebook, stop this now, and perhaps it's time to put people over profit.
The bill requires online platforms to pay news outlets for displaying. Hold up. For displaying and linking to their content. If passed, the law will affect Google and Facebook. Facebook will no longer allow publishers and users in Australia to share or view news on its platforms.
Do confirm for all Australians is the immense market power of these media digital giants.
Too powerful.
These digital giants loom very, very large in our economy and on the digital landscape.
Killing the freedom of speech.
I think Facebook banning news is
Kill it
terrible.
all
actually.
right.
I do use Facebook. It seems to be a catch-all, and I can get all of my news in the one spot.
Let me show you why.
It will really impact me.
I'm gonna get back to the.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I think I'm a software developer, so I'm fascinated to see.
We're gonna get back to the storms. We're gonna get back to the winter storms. But they don't want to tell you this shit is ending around the world. Let me show you what I'm talking about.